So I'm just waking up. It's about 6 o'clock. And I'm finding myself having some funny issues. Last night, my husband comes in the bedroom and I'm just like, oh, get away from me. Just get away from me. And, he's not going to hurt me or anything. It's not anything like that. But it's funny how when you shift and spiritually and you decide on your value, how things feel. And so what I'm aware of is I just don't really want my energy being drained by him anymore. And I don't know, I could probably, as a psychological astrologer, provide some nice little diagnostic keywords, but I think that when you're married to somebody, it's really easy to get mad at them and think that you have some special knowledge and can provide some diagnostic keywords maybe that look appropriate to you at the time. But oftentimes when we have trouble, as my husband and I are having now, there's some bigger cycle involved. And one of the things I just kind of woke up to this morning, and I was aware of it, how big it really might be, and it might just be lots and lots and lots of us in this sense, is this eclipse energy. Okay, right now we're in the second eclipse of Taurus Scorpio and Scorpio Taurus. We're in the second kind of ranges of them, so they're going to go in 6 month spans. Well, in this one, it's kind of a focal point for me because I have Taurus Scorpio as a huge part. My moon is in Taurus, and I have Neptune in Scorpio, and then I have a stellium in the 8th. So it rocks back and forth, and I have to say this is a eclipse season that I finally think I really am starting to understand eclipses in some deeper senses of the word. They're not just two little cute horseshoes on our charts. And so this energy going back and forth where I'm seeking that sense of home and security now here in Hawaii, needing that sense of something, having assets or real estate, 8th house, needing to bring that in, loss, husband, 10th house, and I have a T-square with Mercury, so 2 from my moon to Neptune. So it gets really complicated, and I'm somebody who, if I feel, I'm going to get a drink of coffee, if I feel that you're not respecting humanity, the gods, I have a real problem with it. And so this is kind of one of my cycles. And I realized that while laying in bed, when is the last time I was feeling so adamant, about spirituality? And I had a point where I could just go right back to it. It was kind of funny. I went through a stage. I had met a man who was a doctor and Vietnamese, and we made friends rather quickly and found ourselves in a relationship that lasted a couple of years, but was all about metaphysics. And when he and I ended our relationship, I was just heartbroken. But I realize now how these eclipses in a lot of ways are cycles, right? A relationship ended and a metaphysical, big old metaphysical thing happened. And I don't know what happened with him in my own mind, but I did feel like I outgrew him somehow, and I wasn't wanting to continue that, and I left the relationship, which was appropriate. It was because, in this sense, we had, again, this humanitarian issue in the Vietnamese culture, and he was from Vietnam, was flown out after the war, Vietnam, and his family wanted to provide him a wife through an auntie that did that kind of work. So it's a very, different sort of culture. And so out of respect for him and his culture and the way they felt about it, I just didn't think it was the right situation for me, and which is appropriate, right? You have to see things as they are, not the way you would like to see them. So here I am again over a spiritual dynamic, having to decide between my spiritual heart and my security needs in a man. And I just realized here today that I don't think I need to be in a relationship ever again like that. I think maybe for me, I must not really want one because I keep outgrowing them. And so I don't want to hurt anybody. So I have to look at myself. Now, why I'm saying all this is because when you think you're ready to diagnose your spouse, that person you've been with for a long time, just remember this conversation, because even though he might be looking like, to me, schizophrenic is what he calls me, but he might be looking to me like, he's got some narcissism, some borderline personality disorder, stuff like that. I mean, I can make all kinds of sort of nasty little thought jabs, I could be right and I could be wrong, but what good would it do either one of us? It wouldn't do either one of us any good. There's no point in that. We all have these problems. And what's interesting is when we met and married, he had a relationship exactly at this point in time that fell apart. Same number of years, exactly. So we have these cycles, we have these patterns, and they do affect us in every way. And oftentimes we're very unaware of them. Spend some time thinking about what your patterns might be. Start writing stuff down. Look back. Think about what you were doing 28 years ago and how you might have been doing things differently than you are today. And did you upgrade between that cycle, the beginning of that cycle, and this new beginning of a new cycle? Because that's what this is. And so with that, a little bit of nodal knowledge, and again, as I tenderly share my pain, because there's no reason not to, because it's all about healing. Chiron in the third for me. Thank you so much for being here.